colourful villages, castle views and a whole lot of wine. Welcome to Alsace in France. In this video, we're exploring 5 of the best things to do in this stunning corner of France, from fairy tale streets, epic heights, and a tour of the wines that make this region famous. So let's jump in and explore. Where do you even start though when the whole area is so beautiful? Absolutely love driving in this area of the Alsace. You're driving through acres and acres of vineyards as far as the eye can see, interspersed with pretty little villages. Today's drive is taking us up into the mountains, so we're surrounded by trees on a very winding road at the moment. We are headed to Haut-Koenigsburg, which is a castle perched on top of a mountain. We're hoping it's going to be a few degrees cooler up there. The forecast for today is about 32 degrees, so very, very hot. Got some proper switchbacks and hairpin turns going on this drive up to the mountain. Parking is on the road on the approach to the castle. So I guess the earlier you get here, the closer you're going to be able to park to the castle. We've got about a 650 metre walk ahead of us, hopefully in the shade.
Well, 650 metres uphill in the 26-degree heat will remind you that you are just a teensy bit out of shape, but we got here and it looks like the payoff is going to be amazing. The castle looks fantastic, very Disney-esque, and the views look like they're going to be terrific. High above the Alsatian plain, at nearly 800 metres up, is one of France's most spectacular castles, Château de Haut-Koenigsburg. From a distance, it almost looks mythical, perched on its pink sandstone cliff, surrounded by the deep green of the Vosges forest. Built back in the 12th century, the castle's original purpose was strategic, to control the trade routes running between France and Germany, and to keep watch over the merchants carrying wine, wheat and sugar through the region. For centuries it was fought over, besieged and burned, a true survivor of medieval power struggles.
We were thinking how beautifully pristine and perfectly preserved this castle is, but it's actually the 3rd castle to have been built on this site. The first one was built in the 1100s, the second one 1500s. It was left to ruin and then rebuilt from 1908.
The information panel here tells some of the story of the restoration of the castle and how they used references to recreate what they think might have been here before. And I've got to say, the effect is incredibly authentic. You would never know it had been left in ruins until the restoration in 1908.
By the 17th century, the castle was left in ruins after the 30 Years' War. For 200 years it sat abandoned until the early 1900s, when Kaiser Wilhelm II, the last German emperor, decided to restore it. His goal was to turn it into a showcase of Germanic medieval heritage. The restoration was massive. Archaeologists, architects and artisans rebuilt towers, walls and halls based on historical research and a dose of imagination. The result is what we see today, a remarkably complete vision of what a medieval fortress may have looked like at its height.
Well, it's going to take us all day to get around here at this rate, because around every corner is another beautiful feature. This has been so well restored, and probably from an interior point of view the best castle we've ever been to. Also, top tip, if it's blisteringly hot or raining, this is a great place to come because most of it is inside.
The Great Hall feels like the set of a period drama. although it is somewhat of a fantasised approximation of a Middle Ages hall. Huge wooden beams, coats of arms, chandeliers, paintings, vaulted ceilings and wooden panelling. The armoury is packed with gleaming weapons from the Middle Ages. Up on the ramparts is where Haut-Koenigsburg really delivers. The views stretch across the Rhine Valley, over the vineyards of Alsace, and on clear days you can see the Black Forest in Germany and, in the distance, the Alps. Cannons here wouldn't have been just for show either. They would have protected the trade routes that made this region so valuable. The medieval garden, which was replanted in 2024, is a recreated garden that showcases medieval planting in themed areas: vegetable, apothecary and flowers. It's easy to get swept up in the storybook atmosphere here. The towers, the drawbridge, the sweeping views. But Haut-Koenigsburg isn't just a relic of the Middle Ages, it's also a reimagining of one. When the castle was restored by Kaiser Wilhelm, he wasn't restoring it exactly as it was. He was recreating his own vision of medieval glory, a blend of history, archaeology, and a little turn-of-the-century fantasy. So while every stone here may not be perfectly authentic, together they tell something just as interesting: the story of how each generation reshapes the past to fit its own imagination. And standing here up on the ramparts, with the Vosges Mountains on one side, the Black Mountains on the other, it's hard not to be taken in by the view and the illusion.
Honestly, one of the best castles we've ever been to. We were exploring in there for about 3 hours, well worth the admission price of €12, so definitely put that on your list. And while we were standing outside taking some photos by the castle, there was a couple taking pictures with a Polaroid, so we offered to take their photo, and then they offered to take our photo with their Polaroid camera. Isn't that lovely? So sweet of them. So we have the perfect memento of our time at Haut-Koenigsburg. Next on our Alsace adventure, and one of the absolute highlights, exploring the storybook villages that line the famous Alsace wine route. The route is crammed with pretty villages, and we're going to take you on a whistle-stop tour of 5 of them. First up, and possibly our favourite, is Eguisheim, one of France's officially designated most beautiful villages, and it's easy to see why. Built in perfect circles of fortification, its winding lanes are lined with half-timbered houses and bright, colourful flowers spilling from every window ledge. Quite possibly the most photogenic place you will ever visit. Ribeauville combines many of Alsace's greatest treasures: wine, beauty and history. Surrounded by vineyards, this medieval town looks almost unchanged. It has a charming high street, restaurants, shops and a couple of interesting museums, including a fun one about torture. Colmar is known as the heart of the Alsace, and for good reason, with its quintessential representation of the area's unique charm and history. It's bustling, vibrant and busy, but every bit as charming. Grab a seat in a restaurant in Little Venice, or wander through the old town and visit the Church of St. Martin or the famous Unterlinden Museum. There's plenty to do here. Further along the route is Ribeauville, with its skyline crowned by 3 medieval castles. If you're up for a hike, stay tuned because the views from these castles are jaw-dropping and we explore them later in the video. Lined with 15th to 18th century buildings, you'll find history and heritage blended with modern-day conveniences in this pretty town. Last up is Bergheim, a peaceful little town still wrapped in its original 14th century walls. Perfect for a slower paced visit, you can stroll the ramparts, visit the small witches museum, which tells the story of the Alsatian witch trials, check out the church, or simply sip a glass of Pinot Gris on a sunny terrace. If any of these villages take your fancy, be sure to check out the video that we made exploring these villages in detail. We'll link it below.
Now, if you're a wine lover, Alsace is basically paradise. The region has it all. Dramatic vineyard slopes along the Vosges mountains among patchworks of medieval villages and some of the most distinctive white wines in France. Think crisp, aromatic and full of personality. Here's the best part. Wine tasting in Alsace is easy and welcoming. You'll find walk-in tastings at family wineries where the winemaker may well be the one pouring your glass. Those are perfect for casual afternoon stops. Then there are guided tastings where you can compare different grape varieties such as Riesling, Gewürztraminer, apologies if that's pronounced wrong, Pinot Gris, and really understand how the land shapes each flavour. And for the ultimate experience, go for a vineyard tour and tasting combo. You'll stroll through the vines, explore cool stone cellars, and taste the wines where they're actually made. One of the best places to do this is in the charming town of Ribeauville, and right here you'll find one of Alsace's true gems, Bott Freres. This family-run 20-hectare estate has been perfecting the craft since 1835 through 7 generations of the same family. We really have to call out our host who made the whole experience so engaging. He was interesting, funny, warm and genuinely loved sharing the family story and their wines.
The life of our wine stock is between 80 to 85 years maximum, and the average is like more than 70 to 75 years. So when the vine stock not producing grapes anymore, we have to replace it by a new one. So we're not replacing the entire parcel, just couple wine stock per row. So into the black bags over there, you can move a bit closer to see, that's a new wine stock. So the new wine stock, you have to wait 3 to 4 years to harvesting the grapes. wines today. So every oak you can see here are empty. The last use was 15 years ago, but today we're mostly using the stainless steel. And then the number on the right represents the diameters in centimeters. So it's very big, bigger than an apartment in Paris.
Their wine tour and tasting takes you behind the scenes through historic cellars lined with oak barrels, one of which we even got to pop our heads into.
We can come here and here, but we mostly use the stainless.
It's a fascinating insight, and the host really brought the process to life. And of course, the finale comes when you settle in for a guided tasting of their finest bottles.
A little bit, and citrus at the very end. So it's a wine we love to pair with the sauerkraut, la choucroute alsacienne, the traditional meal we have in the region. The sauerkraut,
Very
Riesling,
crisp, actually,
lovely pair
and
here.
definitely fruity.
If you don't have
Expect a crisp Riesling, a lush Pinot Gris, a beautifully aromatic Gewürztraminer, and the signature sparkling Cremant d'Alsace to finish.
in German, that means goat mountain, by the way. Well, it's very elegant, very powerful compared to the Riesling you just tried afterwards.
That's delicious.
Before, sorry. So very powerful. For the people got the red, so the red you can sell fresh here in Alsace. So it's a wine a little bit intense of lychee and rosy flavor. Rosy is very...
We absolutely loved the tasting and enjoyed every minute. We found it laid back and fun, and we really enjoyed chatting with others on the tour. It also helped us to understand the flavours more and, of course, pick the ones that we wanted to purchase. Booking ahead is recommended. You can book directly on their website or pop in when passing like we did. And if you're travelling with friends, private group tastings are available, as are tours in different languages. Well, that was a fantastic tour, very informative, really interesting, and we went into all of the different parts of the winery. The cellars were amazing, really nice and cool in there as well, followed by a very comprehensive tasting session, and it kind of convinced us to buy some wine. So if you're exploring Alsace, don't just admire the vineyards, taste them. Bott Freres in Ribeauville is the perfect place to do it.
Look at those grey clouds. Is our picnic going to be rained off?
As we've been driving around in the Alsace, we have noticed people enjoying picnics at the edges of vineyards under the shade of the lovely trees, and we thought that looks like a nice thing to do. And so today
We have come to the outskirts of Hanovere. We've found our very own picnic table, and we are in the shade of some beautiful trees, and overlooking us is the fortified 14th century church of Hanovere.
beautiful spot for a very simple, lovely picnic.
Where are the plates? We're very disorganised.
Right, get your bretzel. I'll fill it up with cheese.
Yes, please.
A little bit more cheese, some tomato.
Yes, please. I feel like there's space for more cheese in here.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I really like this pretzel bread.
It's really unusual, isn't it? It's kind of like a less sweet brioche.
But all I've been able to hear is the church bell and the chickens
Yeah,
over there.
and the breeze in the trees as well. Very tranquil.
I hope you're not hogging all those crisps for yourself.
No.
Look at all these ants crawling up and down this tree. I bet they find plenty to snack on from people's picnics. The wind has really gotten up and the clouds have turned black. We had some terrific thunderstorms this morning, so looks like maybe the weather is coming in again. Oh, these guys just came running right over to me to see if I had any food. I'm sorry to disappoint you, I've got nothing. We finished our picnic just in time. The rain has started, so we're going to see if we can hike up to the church and have a look around in there. Mac went back to the car to get the umbrella because it's too hot to even wear a rain jacket.
And I'm all out of breath now.
It is a pretty epic view from up here.
We've just popped inside the church. The rain is really starting to come down now, and we just heard a rumble of thunder. Spooky.
I'm not sure that in a church with a tall spire is where you want to be during a thunder and lightning storm.
Maybe not. It survived since the 14th century, so we're probably okay. This small part of the church, there's the remnants of beautiful paintings on the walls. Lightning. 1, 3, 4.
Oh my god.
It's motion activated.
We think this says don't come within 3 meters of this during lightning, so
Run!
run! So we moved away from the lightning conductor, but there's another one. And another one there.
That's why the church is still here.
Let's go somewhere else. What do you suppose these little doors in the middle of the walls were for?
I don't know. I wonder if they were some kind of like post hatch for when maybe the postman rode a horse because they're high. I don't know. The latch is on the outside.
Oh.
It's a mystery.
I just love wandering around these places and finding things by chance, like this old water pump. Originally there would have been a well here, and then I think it was like in 1892 they replaced it with this.
One of the things that we have found really useful on our trip, because our French, quite frankly, is embarrassingly poor, is Google Translate, and this feature where you just point it at the words and it turns them into English. It's kind of freaky, to be honest, but it has helped us understand what this fountain was for, and it dates back to the 1300s, where coopers and barrel makers would build their goods here, and also it was used by washerwomen later on to wash their clothes. And we drove through Ribeauville the other day when it was scorching hot, and there were people in this fountain.
I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. Da, 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 da. Way off here in the distance at the top of these hills is the castles that we're going to climb to, all three of them, and I don't know, it looks like a pretty steep walk from down here.
We're up to it.
Maybe.
Welcome to Ribeauville, a charming town straight out of a fairy tale that's worth a visit in its own right. But today we're not just here for the chocolate box appeal. We're heading towards the castle you can see from Ribeauville's main street, and onto one of the best hikes in the region to see 3 castles of Ribeauville. There's a couple of options for parking. The first is to park in Ribeauville town centre and walk to the start of the trail, and the other is a small parking area located right at the beginning of the trailhead itself. We chose the latter of the 2 options.
It's best to check directions for the walk before you set out. From where we parked there were a couple of walking paths and we weren't sure which one to take. There is a shorter but more uphill path through the vineyards, or there is a longer path through the forest which is flatter and provides a little bit more shade. We inadvertently took the uphill version.
We've only just started.
Literally a couple of yards into the walk. I'm already tired, I hate walking uphill.
It's a steep uphill climb, but right away you're rewarded with spectacular views over Ribeauville and the vineyards beyond.
Very glad we are not doing this on a very hot day. This is the ideal weather for it. Slightly overcast. And
If
about
we were
20
trying to
degrees.
do this 2 days ago, well, it would have expired already, I think, wouldn't we? It was really warm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Today is the perfect day. As Sarah said, it's overcast, there's a bit of a breeze, temperature's just right for some hiking.
Uphill.
Uphill, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm on it.
You do get a terrific view of the town from here. And this house perched right in the hills. I bet they've got a terrific view. And there are 2 of the 3 castles that we're heading towards. It looks a little bit steep.
I have just been informed that we are hiking to all 3 of these castles. I thought, hike to one, look at the others, that would be all right.
This is a 3 castle hike,
Yeah, hike
which
to
you were
one.
fully informed of before the hike commenced. And team, help me out here. If you do a hike and it's called the 3 castle hike, You're not completing that hike if you only go to one of the castles.
I knew I shouldn't have married a completer finisher.
Of course, I may reassess my point of view on this when we get to the first castle and I can no longer feel my legs.
Some of the reviews of this hike called it an easy walk. I think Sarah mentioned one, he even called it a casual stroll. I beg to differ, young man. I thought the hike that we did in Ireland recently felt like hobbits on the way to Mount Doom, but this one definitely feels like we're on a ring quest into the fires of Mount Doom. Well, this is a good sign. We've obviously gone the right way and we've almost made it to the first castle.
Okay, but tell me how they got a lawnmower up here.
The first castle is St. Ulrich, the oldest and most important of the three, and arguably the most impressive. Built around the 11th century, it became the main seat for the lords of Ribeauville, and this was their stronghold for more than 400 years. Even from the ruins, you can tell how impressive this place would have been. Thick walls, a massive hall with huge windows, a tall keep. This was a real symbol of power and prestige. Standing here, you get an amazing view back over Ribeauville, almost like the lords themselves would have centuries ago, surveying their lands.
Well, it is some view from the top.
It sure is. The castle is in a truly commanding position, way up on this mountain. You can see for miles, you can see Germany, Switzerland, and as far as the eye could see. What's really interesting is that we found that you can see the villages have been built at the end of valleys, potentially, I guess, because of water sources, streams coming down through the valleys.
And that just there is the fortified church of Hunavir, where we had our picnic the other day. Well, we have reached the very tippity top of the tower of this castle. Now, this castle and the one we can see on the hill behind us were owned by two brothers from the same family. And legend goes that they had this bargain or this deal where every morning they would wake each other up by shooting an arrow at the shutter of each other's castles. And one day they shot their arrows and one of the brothers opened the shutter at the exact moment the brother shot the arrow towards him. It pierced him in the heart and he died. And apparently his ghost still wanders these forests.
one.
Completed it.
Done.
So I think whichever brother had this castle definitely had the best deal because it's much bigger than this one. Castle number 2.
Just a short walk away is the second castle on the hike, Chateau de Koeningsbourg. This castle was given to the Koeningsbourg family in the 13th century after they faithfully served the Ribeauville. It's the smallest of the three, but the location is spectacular, perched on a rocky outcrop and almost seeming like it was built right from the rock itself. Up at the second castle, Chateau de Koeningsbourg, there is not as much to see, but you do get fantastic views of the first castle. Castle number 2, done.
Completed it.
One of the most important things, of course, for any hike, in addition to sturdy footwear, is good nutrition and snacks. And I am pleased to report we have the world's smallest packet of mini cheddars.
We have also bought a couple of these sweeties with us. Now, if you're of the same generation as me, maybe you remember going on holidays to France as a kid and bringing back bags of these for your school friends. We definitely did not bring enough snacks for this walk.
We've made it to castle number 3, and it's even higher up with even better views than the others.
It's a steep climb up to the last castle on the hike. Haut-Ribeauville was most likely built in the mid-1200s during a really unstable time in history. It served as the forward base for the French king's plans to push into Alsace. You can really see this from its strategic position at 640 metres above sea level. Later in its history, it was repurposed as a prison and also a lookout spot to keep watch for forest fires. The castle is dominated by a circular keep, although access into that is now forbidden. But even from the lower levels of the castle, there are breathtaking views out over the Alsace.
This last castle is mostly in ruins, so there isn't as much to see, but it is well worth the climb up here, and it is very steep for these magnificent views over the Alsatian plains, the Vosges mountains, and behind me is Haut-Koenigsburg, where we went the other day. So that's it. Castle number 3, completed it. Now, time for the hike back down. Hiking influencers be like. Well, we have had the most amazing time exploring the Alsace region of France, and honestly, it's been really hard to pick what has been our favourite thing.
We've done so many cool things, but there's still so much to explore, which leaves plenty for a return trip, which is definitely on the cards because we have fallen in love with this area.
So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.